He's like Manolete, the clownish bullfighter, and you're the bull.
No. Oh my God. All right. If you're hearing our voices, it means it's time for It's This Meets That, the podcast where you watch terrible movies so you don't have to, but maybe you should. I'm Russ.
I'm Jared.
And we're back with part 2 of Jiu Jitsu. If you ever wondered what Nick Cage would look like in a martial arts flick, well, I think
don't watch this.
Don't watch. Just keep wondering.
Yes. Yeah. Keep it a mystery. Don't meet your heroes.
Don't meet your heroes. You don't need any of it. So I think we're going to get right into it.
Yeah. We left our hero in the interrogation room over there.
Right.
Discussing that all of a sudden we believe him. He's on our side from the woman that one would think is going to be a main character.
Yes. A lot of things are leading towards the intelligence officer being a main character. We still don't know her actual name.
Yep.
But she trusts Jake. I mean, why not,
Right. Exactly. Why wouldn't she? She was using a truth serum, so he seems trustable.
Good old truth serum.
Yep. So then we get our next comic transition, just called Brax, which great. We're another walking around scene, walking around in the forest this time.
Yeah, I went with more jungle, but yeah, forest, jungle. Yeah, right? Yeah, kind of. Right?
Jungle is a type of forest, I think.
Yeah, sure. It's like it's a biscuit type of soup. So
yes,
right.
I think
Soup is a category. Biscuit is just underneath, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So we're in the jungle. Walking around with the Geiger counter.
Obviously.
Our woman here that's never to be named is like, Geiger counter's going crazy.
Well, because we're looking for plutonium, I think that's what the army's looking for. Or
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know at this point because I think they're just trying to leave, right? Because he was like, he told them we got to get out of here, and so she was like, I don't know. He says we got to get out of here. So,
but are they getting? Is this them getting out of there? Anyway, so they're all walking around.
The last line right before this was literally her saying it's not about plutonium anymore. So right? Remember? Like
that's right. But she's got the Geiger counter as if she's looking.
Right.
What the?
And then he goes, "It's not that kind of radiation." Jake says that. What kind of radiation is it? And then it's unanswered. They never answer that question.
Yeah, there's nothing. That's it. It's just like conversation. And by the way, this entire time, Jake is still he's not cuffed. He's just kind of walking around freely. This is the guy who kicked the shit out of 7 people and
possibly murdered
within 5 seconds. But because, intelligence officer lacking all the intelligence. I don't know. It just be a little more consistent. So they're walking around and then we get the alien just strikes out of nowhere.
Yeah, we're under attack. He's like the alien Brax, which we'll find out in a couple minutes, fortunately, finally. I'm going to start calling him Brax.
Yeah, let's call him Brax. Yeah, it's easier. Or Spaceman. I think Spaceman or Brax is okay at this point.
Okay. Well, his name is Brax, Russ. So.
His name is Brax, but Nick Cage calls him Spaceman, so we're going with...
Fair. So there's a million alien shuriken.
Or shurikens.
Yeah. Dwight Schrutens.
Are you shurikens? Just zipping around.
Yep. Not hitting anything. As usual. He has apparently Brax has an endless supply of them because
just flying over people's heads, and I don't think everyone knew that they'd be flying over their heads because there's definitely no reactions to them. Like a lot of these were added in post, and some of the actors I don't think were prepared. Be like, hey, there's,
you're under attack.
Yeah, you're under attack, and everyone's just kind of standing there like, okay, whatever, I'm gonna do my thing, say my line.
Like, they do get a couple of hits in at some point, right? Like,
yeah.
Okay, I guess out of the zillion, you got to hit 2, and this is when we get the annoying reverse POV kind of thing, right? When it's like the chest cam.
Yeah, right around.
Are we there yet?
Yeah. So, well, we like some just like kind of set some other things here. So, like, this whole crew, Comic Relief is here. Tex, right?
Yep.
We definitely get the shot of the Predator shot of the alien jumping from tree to tree and cloaking. It's like straight from Predator. And then bunch of shurikens, whatever things flying around. No one's what's going on. But yeah. So then we cut to the new gimmick, the new camera gimmick.
Yep.
And it's terrible.
It's been 10 minutes since the last one, so
it is terrible. So all of a sudden there's like it's like the there's a should know the name of this, but it's like where the camera is like mounted to the person, the actor. So it moves to them. That's why it has this feeling of like everything else is moving, but they're steady.
Selfie cam.
Yeah, selfie cam. I think there's another name for it, but yeah, selfie cam. Yeah. But they do it for like all the characters, and it is so jarring, so awkward, and so terrible because like I can't even explain how bad this whole sequence is. Like,
horrendous.
It's like people are just all really terrible actors saying their lines with zero. Nothing means anything. Nothing makes any sense. No one is anywhere where they should be. There's no sense of where everyone is.
I think they're doing it to avoid showing more action. Like, I think they're like, ran out of ideas on the scene.
You're right. That's 100% what it is, right? So you strap a camera onto the actor and they kind of bounce around, and then, we're just going to do a little CG fucking zippy thing right over your head. Very
limited window of
visual.
Yeah.
And
they're just like, oh, what's happening? Oh. Wait, like, it's like a Blair Witch kind of thing. We're all just like, why are we doing this?
Yeah. And it is just absolutely terrible. But it bounces from like every major character that we know about right now, right?
Yep. And then we move on again. We're back to like the alien POV, right?
Well, this is the first time we actually get a full visual of the alien, isn't it? Like a full visual of him, right? He's in a tree and he's like,
yeah, I think right after this. I think it's like, this is when we see alien point of view for a second, zooms in on what's his face there, and the alien can like see his heart or something.
Yeah, Captain Sand, I think it was.
Yep. And then he jumps down for hand-to-hand combat, and that's when he like reveals himself, right? Kind of like,
yeah, he does a crazy flip off the tree and lands. He's like, I'm here. And it's a very Predator kind of moment. And the CGI looks absolutely terrible. Like,
it's not good.
Like, terrible. Like, Alien Warfare was comical. Yeah. And how bad it was, but it was like, that was like almost borderline. I mean, it wasn't awesome. It was kind of fun. Yeah, but it was fun bad. But like, this is just, man, did anyone take this serious? They didn't take this serious, right?
No.
Okay. I hope not. I hope not. Oh God.
So sorry, Dimitri and Jim.
No.
You're listening and you're like, oh, we tried really hard. Like, I feel kind of bad, but
no.
Fair. So we get more hand-to-hand combat, right? This is the alien now fighting the captain here.
Yeah, Captain Sand, who's
Emilio Estevez.
Rick Yoon.
Right. I don't know.
The Emilio Estevez of the film, if you will.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I dropped an if you will.
Yeah, and you got the smoke face killer, as I sometimes call the alien, because thankfully we haven't seen the alien's actual face yet. We just see they have like a weird mask visor thing that's got like clear glass in front of it, and it's just full of smoke most of the time.
Yeah,
like
smoke fog thing, whatever, right?
Yeah, like some glowing eyes, but that's all we've gotten.
Yeah. Don't worry, we're gonna get to how terrible it gets later.
Ugh, what a nightmare.
So they fight, and I think the captain just immediately reaches for a handy, massive machine gun that's right there, and he's like, "Oh, hey, check this thing out," and just unloads on the alien.
Yep.
Like,
and it seems like it's working.
Seems completely to be working. Terrible CG again, blue blood thing. He's just getting lit up. It's absolutely terrible looking.
Yep.
Alien goes down. He's down for the count. Comic relief comes out of nowhere, and he's just like says some comic relief things, right?
Yep. It's like, you got him. You're going to be a hero when they hear about this. Like,
yeah,
great work.
Right, and then the fog goes away, and then the alien disappears basically, and then comes back into the body.
Well, no,
right?
it seemed more like
I didn't
he's
get
kinda, like
this.
shut down for a second. Like it was like the lights, because his little outfit there has lights on it, and like the lights just kind of like shut off, and I was like, boo.
Power down. The fog goes away though in the head though. The fog disappeared though. So I was like,
Okay,
oh,
is that
yeah.
we didn't see the face though yet, right?
No. Don't see the face yet, but yeah.
Okay.
So the fog disappears and it's basically an empty shell. So it's like, oh, maybe the fog is just like, I'm about to give this movie way too much credit, but I was like, maybe the fog is like the energy of the alien race and blah, blah. Nope.
Yeah. No, I think it was just like
that's already too smart.
Yeah. He just powered down and was like, gotta heal. Okay. Like, yeah. Because then that's what happens. Then it's like, oh, he just is all of a sudden better. All of his bullet wounds are gone.
And he just pops back up, and then he decides he uses unlimited amount of alien ninja stars and shoots the captain's gun off or away or whatever.
Yeah.
And then does the old hand heat meld to his
hot
chest.
Hand.
Yeah, the old hot hands right in his chest, and just boom. Comic relief runs. Tex just runs. That's
the end of
and that's exactly how that ends.
Yeah, they were like, ooh, how do we wrap this up? Just cut it.
Just cut it. Yeah, don't worry about it. Fuck it. Don't worry about it. No one's really paying attention. So, because two important things there. One, you learn that the alien disappeared when he's taken down. There is a moment where he's got some gap of time when he's healing and returns, which is brought up later, but it actually does not matter.
No, not at all.
Like it's brought up later as like a way to defeat him, but then it's actually not the way they defeat him. I don't think.
Right. Not really. No.
No. Right. They just yeah. And then Captain Sand there, who got his chest smoked, right?
Yep.
He's not dead. Spoilers.
No. Actually, I guess it is kind of the way they defeat him at the end, but we'll get to it.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Hard to decide.
Somehow that guy doesn't die.
Somebody doesn't die. And then we cut to comic transition, right?
Yep.
Rabbit hole. This fucking movie.
That was my nickname in high school,
Good old Rabbit Hole DeLuca. So then we're running, and it's Army intelligence officer and Jake just running.
Yep.
Inexplicably, they're just running.
Yep. Just,
right?
I mean, running away from the battle, presumably.
I assume, right?
Yeah. Jake does a lot of running away from battles in this movie.
Yeah. So he's running, and then he just randomly falls into like an underground hut home thing.
Yeah, the rabbit hole, right? Presumably,
right? The rabbit hole. Is this the last we see of?
Yep.
The Army intelligence officer.
Yeah, she gets dummied by a throwing star to the chest, and that's the end of her.
One of the random ones, millions he shot probably like just so this alien is still tracking him.
Yeah, she looks down into the hole and she's like, Jake, and then all of a sudden nailed in the chest, and you're like, oh well,
boom, done. You're done. And I was like, well, I mean, the last guy got a heat burn to the chest, and he comes back, but she doesn't come back. Nope, she's done.
No, I think that's the end of her. Yeah, they had a crew of probably like 20-30 soldiers, and maybe 3 of them died.
Yeah, his hit percentage is like me playing like Call of Duty. It's like
at best.
I'm absolutely terrible at the game.
Yeah, you're probably better at Call of Duty than he is at deploying.
Actually, I think
yeah, definitely. And then it's like, so fuck Jake, because he's just kind of like, well, now I'm down in a hole. And then who's in the hole? Nick Cage.
Classic. Smoking. What do you think he's smoking there?
What do you think he's smoking there? Yeah. If I had a nickel for every time Nick Cage was in a hole in the ground in Burma, I'd have 20 nickels. Yeah, Nick Cage is the John McAfee of acting.
So yeah, here we are. Nick Cage and Jake, they meet, and it is so fucking goofy. The whole sequence,
because they start fighting immediately.
Yeah, immediately just start fighting. Which I mean, I guess like the guy just falls in, and Nick Cage is sitting there smoking, minding his own business. Yeah. So he throws a knife
into your
him.
House. Somebody fell into my house. I guess I'd fight them too.
Yeah, right. I mean, okay, that seems reasonable. But why build a trap door in the middle of to
catch Brax?
Like, makes no sense.
But he's been avoiding Brax. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, none of it makes sense. So, they start fighting, and this is this whole sequence is so great. Yeah. And when I say that,
where do you want to start?
I don't.
That's my favorite chair. That's my favorite chair. I knew you'd find it comfortable.
This whole scene, I don't know. This.
Get off of my piano.
Oh my God. That's literally the line in the movie. Get off my piano. There's a piano down there. Everything's so goofy. And then there's a moment where he stops and Nicolas Cage. And by the way, the way we're describing this is pretty much exactly how it plays out.
Yeah. Nonsensically. Yeah.
It's like it is a Looney Tunes like cartoon moment. And then Nick Cage stops in the middle of the fight and he's like, yeah, you know what I do down here? I make hats out of newspapers.
Yeah. I make
what? What newspapers are you getting, first of all, in Burma? And two,
he's like, and then he complains about how difficult it is. It's like, it's really time consuming.
It's like, what? This was definitely an ad lib thing that Nick Cage was like, I got to do this. And they're like, Dimitri was like, yeah, sure, Nick, do whatever you want.
He's like, I guess we paid you $5 million. Do whatever you want.
do whatever you want. I don't care.
I hate this movie, said Dimitri.
So Nick Cage and Jake are continuing in this goofy fight sequence. And it's so goofy because like there's a whole thing where they show a close up of him with Jake, right? And then they cut to a wide cut of like the two of them, and it's clearly a stunt double with like long hair.
Oh yeah.
Now all of a sudden doing like the funny, crazy stuff. And then they land, they cut to like Nick Cage being like, I landed. And it's like, oh my God.
Like the Nick again, I think we mentioned it at the top, but Nick Cage has probably 80% of the lines in this movie. And
yes.
And they're all throwaway. Like none of them matter. Like he's like introducing random concepts and things. Like this is when he says like, oh yeah, because they stop fighting for a second and he's talking to them where he's like, they usually throw me some food down at the valley, the valley of the temples. Like, I guess it's kind of important that we know the valley of the temples exists, but also
it doesn't matter.
What?
Yeah. Like, none of this makes sense to you. And
this is when he goes like, he wanted you here, the poet warrior in the sci-fi sense, the spaceman. He's the one who gave us Jiu Jitsu. like, what? He's the one who gave us Jiu Jitsu. Explain yourself, old man. Like,
so you're telling me now Jiu Jitsu was given to us by aliens?
Yeah.
Now I kind of want to read this comic.
Right? It must be better, right?
If this is the concept, I doubt it. So then we get some other good Nicolas Cage lines here. Ball and mitt, game match set, checkmate. That's a good like Nick Cage fired up line. Then we get the moment where they're doing the fighting thing and it breaks for a second, right? And then it just inexplicably, Nick Cage is like, I can fly too. Straight from the trailer, right?
Yeah. Jumps up on a windowsill and like does a somersault through the air. And you're like, why? So like while they're fighting, Nick Cage is giving us more of like, you're gonna face off Brax right this time. Like this is when we first get Brax is the name of the alien, and of course the alien's name is Brax. Like they're like, ooh, alien names. Somebody brainstorm here. Somebody's like, oh, that guy Drax.
Oh yeah,
from Guardians of the Galaxy. That'd be fun. Like, what if we just like did Brax?
Yeah,
ship it.
Done. Sounds good.
It was literally the first thing they thought of. And apparently he's going to kill him in the worst way. That's what like Nick Cage's like parting words to him are like, he's going to kill you in the worst way.
And that's it. And then,
not sure what that is.
And then the crew just shows up.
Yeah. Out of nowhere.
This happens all the time in this movie too. Where like just people just show up randomly out of situations. Like, why would they don't even know where they are. What's going on? Why are they, what? So the whole crew shows up. Frank Grillo, Juju Chan, the whole gang.
Yep.
Just walks into Nick Cage's home. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, and Nick Cage is seemingly expecting them. And they're all asking, Jake, why don't you know what's going on? And Nick Cage is like, God. His mind's all messed up. He's crazy like me.
Oh my God.
Okay.
And Jake is, at this point I was like, oh, Jake is in the movie. Like he is a child, but he is like a child. So everyone can explain to him what's going on. So they can also explain to us what's going on.
Right. But they never also like let him like I don't know. It seems like they don't believe his amnesia also for most of the movie. Like,
Yeah.
they also have to remind everyone all the time, like, no, of course his brain is scrambled because he literally scrambled it on a rock.
Right. And it's like everyone knows him, right? Everyone's like, isn't everyone friends? Like, don't they all?
I thought so.
They all know him. So wouldn't they be like, hey man, what the fuck's wrong with you?
Yeah, nope. They're all like, oh no, he seems normal, but weird for some reason.
It's so bad. So then we jump to Jake and the crew outside walking. We get some seriously terrible CGI landscape shots of like a temple and like rocks or whatever.
Or off to the Valley of the Temples, I guess.
Oh, and there's definitely a great shot of like them walking and the Nick Cage stunt double. Oh
yeah.
The Nick Cage stunt double is it's comically like. I really hope that they meant to do this because it's so comically bad that it's like straight from like Spaceballs type of thing. We're like, oh, you caught their stunt doubles, you idiots! Like, it's clearly someone else with a wig on, just walking.
Horrible.
And then there's some comment from Frank Grillo about rendezvous at the temple or something. I don't know.
Yeah, well, this is when because the girl shoots off that like dope arrow message. Remember?
Yeah, what was that?
That was pretty cool, and they don't explain that.
No,
ever.
I was like, what was it? Like, no.
Yeah, she has like this cool arrow shooter launcher thing in her armor that she like fired off to like send a message to someone. Nick Cage is apparently named Wiley. This is when we get Nick Cage's name, and he's talking about how he's always hungry and wants some food. Because the temple usually gives him food. Yep. And this is when we see the temple has the alien on the wall, right?
Yep.
So like this is, I think we see this is the only.
We're inside.
Tattoo?
Yeah. We're inside the temple now. Yep.
Yep. And this is the fourth time that we're going to explain the premise. So every 6 years, there's a portal. Looking for a fight with the chosen Jiu Jitsu. Which they keep using that way. We're like, oh no, the chosen Jiu-Jitsu. You're like, the chosen Jiu-Jitsu practitioners, like
master
Jiu-Jitsu person.
No, just the chosen Jiu-Jitsu.
The chosen Jiu-Jitsu.
Like
he taught our ancestors how to fight. That's how he did it. That's how he gave you Jiu-Jitsu. And you're like this is Nick Cage again, still explaining the movie, and then literally cuts from that to, yeah, I could eat. Someone hands him the food that he asked for 5 minutes ago. And he's, yeah, I could eat. And then it cuts away. Like that's the end of his part of that scene.
I just don't understand. Oh my God, it's so bad. I can't.
Yeah,
even,
and then
keep going. Sorry.
Well, I was just saying, then Juju Chan Zito there is like undressing him again because it's implied that they have some kind of relationship, but
and this was all weird too. So like,
yeah. I really hope they don't keep this going is what I wrote in my notes. But they did.
Yeah, they did. And so he's shirtless and then they cut to all the other characters who are still in the room.
Yep.
Kind of like looking, being like, well, this is a little awkward.
Yeah, Dimitri, are we still supposed to be here?
Should we what's going on here? And then so Jake is still definitely a child. He's a child, and the way he's being like pulled around from one, he's just like a kid. And then Frank Grillo just comes in out of nowhere, and I labeled Frank Grillo as dad basically because he just comes in, breaks up the fun. He's like, "Hey, pay attention." I was like, "To what?"
Yeah, excuse me.
Like, what does that line of dialogue even mean right at this moment? Like,
yeah,
there is such a disconnect between dialogue and what's happening on the screen. I'm like, I think my brain is melting, and it's like, to what? We're inside. Aren't we safe here? What's going on? Like.
Well, because then it cuts again to the two of them talking to each other privately, and she gives him the cloak invisibility there. She goes, well, if you cover yourself completely with this, Brax can't see you. Wait, what? Like, that seems like a way more important plot point.
Wait,
you don't remember that?
Wait,
you don't remember that?
What? Yeah,
this is when he said, so what's his face comes in, Frank Grillo is like, pay attention. Yeah. And then it cuts back quick to like the two, they're still like, he's still like half naked, but she starts wrapping him in this like cloak.
Well, yeah, no, because Frank Grillo's like, hey, like suit him up in his armor. Yeah.
Well, but the armor is like an invisibility cloak. She goes, but if you cover yourself completely in this, Brax can't see you.
But
that's like the premise.
I missed that. Must have missed that. How did I miss that little dialogue?
Because they use that again later. They set it up here and they use it one time at the end.
But do they though?
Yes, I'll call it out when it comes back.
Because I remember the point where the alien couldn't see him, and I was like, "This is the stupidest thing ever." But
that
then
was it.
It's for like 2 seconds.
Yeah, that was it. That was what this was for. The payoff was that.
Oh my god, that's terrible. Okay, yeah. So it's pretty bad.
And then we're back outside walking again.
Yeah, and here we are, Jake and the crew walking outside day. And then we get, I think, the fifth explanation of kind of plot. I mean, Frank Grillo's character gets more into like, none of it makes any sense to me, but basically he's just like, this is how we got to get him. But it's like definitely still along the plot lines. I think he talks about like,
right.
I don't know, right? I don't know.
And like, apparently Jake was the one who came up with this plan, and they bring that up a bunch. But like,
yeah.
Meanwhile, like, I don't know. So like, another throwaway line that from I think Frank Grillo is like, "Oh, thanks to you, we had to climb up this hill with Geiger counters." You're like, why? What?
Yeah.
It seems like the Geiger counters kind of indicate where the alien is, but not really. Like,
I don't know. He's just kind of everything. Just shows up when he wants to. And then Frank Grillo also says like, "Oh, everyone will die," and I'm like everyone is in like this group.
Yeah,
everyone here right now, or like everyone on the planet. Like,
yeah.
If he come back every 6 years, someone must be defeating him, right? Or like,
I don't know.
Or is he just?
Well, no. So this is when Nick Cage explains that.
Right, because then this is when Nick Cage comes to me. He's like, you look puzzled. You puzzled? Yeah. I get it. I'm puzzled. I'm like, yeah, Nick Cage. We, the audience, are puzzled.
Yeah. And he goes, it doesn't matter what you remember. You've got to focus. What? No, it seemingly very much matters exactly what he remembers. Like, yes. And then he said, did you catch the line where he's like, you got to fight him and get your honor back? And I was like, wait, it's about his honor? Like,
yeah, I missed that. Oh my God.
I mean, they kind of clear that up later, but it's not apparent now. And now it's kind of a throwaway. And then this is where they explain, as long as you die bravely, no one else has to. That's Alien Politics 5 through 15.
That makes, there were so many lines that like,
he's saying nonsense words. Yeah. He's just stringing words together.
Don't worry so much about what you don't remember. What?
You just got to focus.
You just got to focus. Oh my God. And then I think
this is,
I mean, so basically Nick Cage, so Nick Cage continues to explain more about the plot and the spaceman's motives, basically, or Brax's motive, right?
Brax, you know who that is, right? And then we get the fifth explanation.
Oh my God.
Like, why is everyone still astonished that Jake can't remember stuff? Like, his brain was bashed.
Yeah,
it's very well established that he has amnesia at this point. Like, right.
And like Nick Cage found him when he like explained to everyone, like, yeah, I found him in the water. Like,
yeah, yes. And then Nick Cage does another one. Don't get distracted. Just rise above it. Rise above what? What?
That's
like Nick Cage just started reading motivational posters from some like wall in like a guidance counselor's office.
Don't be sorry, be better.
Right. And this is when I called out, like, they definitely just let Nick Cage design his own outfit for the
design his own outfit, say his own lines, like, whatever, Nick Cage, just say whatever you want. We need you for 3 days and get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. We'll pay you $5 million. Just be here.
I just like, and then, so then I think we started this. So apparently this whole thing, whatever this thing was his plan, right?
Right.
We started on we didn't cover all that, right?
Well, no, because they don't really explain the plan.
Well, no, they don't. But the conversation is ridiculous because everyone's like, "Oh, it's your plan," and literally the whole crew is just like, "Oh, it's your plan, man. Why didn't you remember your plan?" And he's like,
"Yeah,
I don't know."
That's what I was getting. Yeah.
Why is everyone fucking shocked? Like, what?
Yeah, he has the most amnesia. We've established that. Didn't know his name was Jake until recently.
Yes.
Like, of course, he doesn't remember his plan. So it's so frustrating.
This is definitely the worst logic in dialogue in a movie I think we've watched.
Yeah, I think so.
Right? Like, I think in terms
I was trying to think of a worse one, but no, I think you're right. It's like a Lord of the Rings where there's just like 3/4 of the movie is just him like walking. Okay, cool. But there's no interesting story, unlike Lord of the Rings.
Nope. No, in the walking, it's just them re-explaining the plot yet again.
Right. Oh, didn't you hear about Brax's Ring of Power? You got to destroy it in Mount Mordor. This is your plan, you dummy.
So then, so we get another shot of alien vision, right?
Yeah.
And then quick shot of that. And then Frank Grillo tells Nick Cage's character just like to hold back, right?
Yeah, because nothing matters or makes sense.
I was like,
okay. Transition. Comic transition time.
Labeled my time.
So we transition to my time. We're still walking, always walking. We're in the forest again this time, though, as opposed to the desert that we were in a second ago.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So it's like, I don't know. This is when, I don't know. I don't remember who delivered this line. I should have wrote it down. Do you remember that? Somebody's talking to Jake. Jake, I'm sorry, man. It's not your fault. And I wrote what because it didn't make any sense.
All right.
Yeah, set something up here because I don't. That's all I wrote, and I don't get it.
All right, so we're in a jungle again, right? In the day, during the day, and I don't think there's any explanation of why the group split off, right? Because remember, I think maybe there was a moment. I don't know, but it doesn't matter. I don't.
Oh no, they did say because they're saying that Jake needs to be on his own because he's like separate. They're trying to hold off Brax until he can get to Jake or something. I don't know.
Something
they need
like
to take him one at a time. Something's like
right. So either way, so we're in the jungle and now it's Jake and dude who is from like the beginning of the movie, part of the crew. No clue what his name is. Okay, although other than that, he's got like he's a was it Donatello basically the crew. He's got like a big pole that he fights with.
Yep. Okay.
So I called him Dude with Pole because he doesn't have a name.
Bill Pullman.
Perfect. So we have Jake, Bill Pullman, and then pretty much like Star Trek red shirts. We have 2 red shirts, right?
Yep.
Clearly these guys are gonna die, right?
Yeah, the fat guy and the other guy, right?
And the other guy, and like we've never seen them before. They've never been part of the crew before. Like they've never been even referenced at all, except for like I think the fat guy was like early on. He's like, "What, Jake? You don't remember the plan?" Oh,
yeah.
Like what? Who are you? Who are you? Can I just kick you in the face now? Get out of here. So the 4 of them are just like tromping through the forest here, and then this is when Bill Pullman says, "Jake, I'm sorry, man. It's not your fault." And I'm like, I did the same thing. I was like, what's not his fault? It
didn't make any sense. Yeah.
It made no sense. Like we have no idea. Like maybe later on, I guess it kind of makes sense when we find out the whole reveal of everything. But it's like even it's
it doesn't.
Nope. Nope.
Like they didn't. I don't know. They didn't. It's like they had a scene before this and they just cut it, and then and didn't bother with this one.
So this is where Mortal Kombat kind of moment where it's like, hey, we popped our quarters in. We got Bill Pullman versus Spaceman fight.
Yep. Yeah, because that's when Bill Pullman says, like, Jake, you're the rabbit. I got this. This is my time.
Right.
Oh, they said it. I said it.
There it is. And then he tells, so this is important though. So Bill Pullman tells Jake and the 2 red shirts to just keep moving, right?
Yeah.
I'll take care of this.
Everybody abandons this guy. He's fighting Brax on his own.
Yeah. And Jake's like, in his terrible acting, okay. So they leave, and then it's and then we get Brax Alien versus Bill Pullman.
Yep, and like you said, it's just like Mortal Kombat. They like Brax stabs his sword into the ground. They both bow to each other. There's like a lot of theatrics around.
If they literally wrote "fight" across the middle of the screen, I would not have been surprised, and I actually would have been like, "Nice."
Yes, I would have been like, awesome. Like when they did that. I hated all the stupid camera work they did in this movie, but like in the Rock version of Doom there, I love at the end when they do like the POV. It's like they go back into like the video game, like they come up like the guns on the screen. It's like like that's super cool. If they did that, I would have been like, awesome.
I wonder if the new Mortal Kombat did that. We should probably watch that. Did you watch it?
I hope so. No, Brady said it was okay.
Yeah, it doesn't look good. So all right. So Bill Pullman versus
You're welcome.
Not Drax. Versus not Drax, but Brax. And there was just so much slow mo. Oh my god! And this was we didn't mention this in like the earlier fight scenes, but there's a lot of like finishing hits like go into slow mo. Yeah. It's like, dude,
why doesn't Brax win immediately?
Right.
Like he's clearly outmatching everyone else here.
100%. Like just kill everyone. Be done with it. Like be done. Yeah. And then we definitely get more of like the there's so many, and this one definitely like highlighted, but like this fight sequence, but like so many multiple triple cut shots of the same move thing where like Bill Pullman pulls like off one stupid, totally inefficient kick, but it looks like he kicks him 3 times, but it's just one move.
Yep.
Way overused.
So frustrating.
So then, like, all of a sudden, like, the spaceman, he's like, it's a clean fight. And then all of a sudden, I think the spaceman just gets frustrated and just, like, starts shooting fucking shurikens at him.
Yeah, which seems like cheating, right?
Right. Like, what? And then a red shirt shows up.
Yep.
So we're
it's 3-on-1 now.
I can't even speak correctly, right? So then the 2 red shirt guys who were with Jake who ran away just show up.
Yeah. And like you said, I think at the beginning, like the whole point of movies like this is supposed to be well choreographed fight scenes, right?
Yes.
And this ain't it.
No.
like missed the mark.
This is terrible. Like
there's no dialogue. It's just gratuitous, like martial arts scenes that it's not jujitsu.
No.
I don't know.
No, it's fucking so terrible. Like if you're a fan of Alain there, whatever, and
Alain Venice.
What?
Yeah, my bad. Sorry.
Alain is
different.
Alain is Moisette. If you're a fan of him or Tony Jaa, there, like, don't watch this movie. Like, rewatch the movie that you think is good, because this is not. And there's no fucking way this is even in the. I feel like they have other movies that are better than this. Like in terms of martial arts stuff, right?
Go watch Enter the Dragon. Go watch like any other.
Actually, don't watch one of the movies. Go watch a Jackie Chan movie. Any one of his Jackie. Or go watch
good movies. go watch Rush Hour. Go watch Rush Hour is great.
Rush Hour. Big Trouble in Little China. Watch any other movie that like any 80s like martial arts movie. It's gonna be 1,000 times better than this movie.
Yes.
It's frustrating. It's so bad. So the 2 red shirts show up and they just get their asses kicked, basically, right?
Yes, and this is the first time that we see Brax's face, and I'm so upset. So, like during this fight with the red shirts, this is the first time there's like a gap in the vapor in his helmet or whatever, and we actually see his face. It's so dumb.
It is.
I wish they didn't do that.
So at first I thought what it did, and I was like, now thinking through, I was like, oh, this would have been cool if they actually did this. At first, when he did this, because like he had Bill Pullman, right, and he was like kind of had him locked up, and that's when his face changes, and like you see his face, and I was like, oh, is he doing is he mimicking the person he's fighting? I was like, that's cool concept.
Oh, that would be neat. I didn't think that at all. Yeah, that'd be cool.
And my first thought was like, oh, is he just his face is kind of trying to morph or change into the person he's fighting around? I'm like, that'd
be awesome.
That's fucking cool.
Yeah.
Nope.
No, he just has a weird face. That's like, what? Don't show it. Just don't show it.
Don't show it. There's no need to show it. Why show it?
Yeah. They're like they're trying to project some kind of emotion or like I don't know, something on it, but like
it's terrible. And the worst part is like now that they've shown it, they show it
constantly.
Why?
Really takes all the mystery out of the character design was kind of cool. Like I said, I think I said in Trailer Trash, I was like I like the alien design. It's it's kind of derivative, right? But
what did you say? It's like Predator meets Power Rangers, Mighty Morphin Power Ranger type of character, right? And it's like, all right, whatever. I mean, it's not original at all, but it's whatever. It's fine. Yeah,
and it looked good enough. Like it was the best looking thing in this whole movie.
Yes. Yeah.
Like by far, any of the effects budget was spent on this and nothing else.
Nothing else. And then
and then they ruined it. Yeah,
they ruined it by like giving it a face. So why?
but like at least this scene made me a little bit happier because they started doing some of the more like grapply jiu-jitsu stuff where they're starting to do more arm holds, starting to do more choke holds, that kind of thing.
Yeah, 100%. Like more like, yeah, definitely like more like leg, arm. Yeah, 100%. I was like, okay, this is a little bit better, but it was still a terrible, terrible fight. Like it was the least interesting fight, I think, in any fight history movie I've seen. It was just like, this is terrible. Yeah. And then Spaceman, again, it's cut all over the place. So we're not that far off. So
we're doing a good job. Yeah.
We're actually doing a pretty good job based on the movie. The Spaceman picks up one of the red shirt guys by the head and picks him up and does the heat hand thing, and then snapperoo, breaks his neck.
Yeah, seems unnecessary to do both, but
yeah, it's just like, I don't know what's going on here. And then we get to Bill Pullman's final moment, right?
Right.
And then I think,
executed.
Yeah, just
basically off screen.
You like, done.
This movie's rated R. They've showed not enough violence, in my opinion.
How? That's a good point. How is this movie rated R? Is there
because the CGI blood? I think like the handful of times they have CGI blood, it's probably too much blood for PG-13.
No way! Get the fuck out of here. Maybe the neck breaking and like maybe that stuff, like the actual death of people. But
yeah, because like if you look at the rating, it says
I know what it is.
Of violence. It says violence. That's it.
I know what it is. I know the scene that probably pushed it over the edge.
Later on.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
The stupidest, worst. It's terrible. We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Obviously. All right. So we're done with that. Bill Pullman's dead. And then we get Jake just kind of roaming around solo nighttime.
Yep. And somebody captures him again.
He gets knocked out.
Captured constantly.
Yeah. The poor bastard gets another concussion getting knocked out.
Yeah. He's like the Wes Welker of this movie, of like his brain is mush by the end of this movie. Because he gets knocked out so many times.
So much. It's like, oh, this is why you can't act. Okay. So and then we get Captain Sand. Captain Sand's back.
Right.
The guy who, in the very beginning of the movie, had a heat chest thing to his hand from the, to
his chest. Yeah.
Yeah, right. He got heat chested from Brax, the alien there, and we thought he was all dead, and he's back because
somehow survives, and then insists that I've got a license to kill you, no expiration date. So you're going to tell me everything you know, and I'll tell you everything I know.
So that first line, like, all right, maybe like if we're sitting around a room like chatting away about like some dialogue, right? Like cool dialogue, like maybe that sounded cool in the room. It wasn't.
Like, no, it didn't.
Even then, it'd be like, nah, man, that's a little too cheesy for me.
Yeah, you guys know what line's not overdone? License to kill. Let's do that.
Have a license to kill with no expiration date.
And then I love how it just finishes though with you're going to tell me everything you know, and I'll tell you everything I know. And you're like, wait, so am I a hostage? Like, what's happening?
But Jake doesn't know anything. He's
right. Do we just become best friends?
Yeah. And then
we get his backstory.
Well, then Captain Sand randomly just says nobody knows the mission but me, right?
Yeah. I've been clocking this thing for 24 years.
What?
What? Yeah. Why? And he goes, did you catch this? Then he goes, I lost too many good men and women. Following orders. It's like, wait, why did you say it like that? What? Why would you pause like that?
But then we get the tip though from the captain though. This is the moment where the captain gives the big tip, but I think it doesn't apply to the end at all, right?
Yeah, this is when he hands him the sword. You're like, wait, I thought he was your prisoner.
Yeah, well, because at this point, all of a sudden things have kind of changed where like the captain was the captor, and now the captain is basically just dying now. And he's like, well, here's a sword. Yeah, it's just like, what's going on now? I do also love, we step back a quick moment here. So Jake is knocked out, and the captain wakes him up by tapping him in the face with his gun handle, which is pretty funny.
Yep.
But then the captain gives us a big tip here, right? Doesn't he give him a big tip about how the spaceman has a gap of time from when he heals or something like that?
Oh yeah, I ignored it because it's stupid.
Which does not
what they used to
apply.
kill him. Well,
Do they?
it does. I think it does. I think it does. I think the very end there. We'll get to it.
All right, we'll get to it. I just felt it was stupid. So I was
it's dumb.
I was still so confused about what the captain's job was, like what he was doing, like as part of this army crew. Like he's a captain, intelligent officer. Like all this makes no fucking sense. So he hands him a sword, and Jake just grabs the sword and walks away.
Yeah. Well, then he goes, "Get to it, soldier," and then like kind of passes out and maybe dies.
Yes.
What? Like, why did this happen? What is the scene? Like all of a sudden he took him prisoner, knocked him out. Like he had enough strength to like knock out Jake. And then he just kind of like sits down and like fades away into nothingness as Jake walks away to go do whatever.
So he takes the sword, just walks away, and then comes across Nick. Yeah, next scene comes across Nick Cage by fire, grilling a fake fish,
bumping into him. Yeah, just hey, how you doing? And then Nick Cage is like explaining more backstory and talking about how he knows that the spaceman likes Jake. And you're like, what? Why do you know that? Like, what do you mean like? Because he seems like he's trying to kill him. So Jake's like, well, what did I? Because this is when they're trying to get some of Jake's recovered memories. This is when we get some of a little bit of Jake's backstory, right?
A little backstory. We get lines like, this was a good kicker. You know something. I know something you don't know. What? Good. I'm glad you said it twice. Great script writing. That's not as clever as you think it is when you wrote it out. Like, this is a clever line. No, it's not.
No, it's dumb. And this is when Jake asks, what did I do? And Nick Cage starts to tell the tale of the flashback to the portal opening. You know, Brax enters the room for the first time, points at the guy that he's trying to fight.
Yep.
And then just stabs him in the face immediately. Just like plunges a sword through his face. You're like, oh, that was cool. And then Jake runs away, and that's it. That's what he did. That's it. What he did was run away.
But in this whole sequence, so this was like a flashback scene, and it's like so kind of set the scene a little bit for everyone here. So it's flashback time. Nick Cage telling a story, and the whole crew that we all know and or I should say that we all don't know, but we know their faces, right? Is all there, right?
Including the red shirts. Yep.
The red shirts are there. Juju Chan, Frank Grillo, like the whole gang is there, and Jake is there, right? So you get a little sense in the temple where the portal is, right? And they're all waiting for him to show up. Spaceman shows, he pops in. Some dude walks up to him. Spaceman waves him off, and he points at Jake as the one. I think he pointed at Jake, right?
No, so that's what I thought too at first, but then I realized that he was actually just pointing at the guy right in front of him.
Oh, really? And that's why he did because he just fucked that guy up too. He just like stabbed him in the face and crushed his head. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, awesome.
All right, there we go. Here we are.
I guess that's the R rating, I guess.
I guess that's it. But then there's like in between this like flashback, like there's weird cuts back to Nick Cage's face by the fire. Did you catch that? It was so disorienting. I'm like, what? What? Are we in the temple or are we by the fire? And it was like Nick Cage's face. And then back to the temple. I'm like, what is going on? And then this is when we get, and this is important because this is when we get the next new gimmicky camera move. The full 360 degree camera spin move with the character, right? So this is camera gimmick move number 3. And then this just gets abused for the rest of the movie. Oh, maybe it's just disorienting for flashback, but no. This keeps going. Yeah, and then Spaceman just kind of dashes around. He fucks someone up with his arm sword, and then he just dashes around a room, tosses Jake, and then again we get the face of the Spaceman in there, which is completely awkward and stupid.
Yep.
And then Jake just runs away.
Yep, as he is accustomed to do.
And then it ties to the beginning of the movie, though.
Right, exactly, where he was running away. And this is when one of my favorite lines in the movie, or one of my favorite back and forth in the movie, Nick Cage's best line, is Jake saying, so what you're saying is that I'm a coward. And Nick Cage goes, everyone's saying it. I was like, nice.
Oh my God. I want to say such a spoiler line right now, but I'll hang on to it.
Okay. All right, and then
Well, because we know who Nick Cage is, and it's like, oh, this is.
Oh yes, fair. Yeah. Don't say it. Don't spoil that one yet.
Yeah, that's too good.
Yeah. And then this is when we get a little bit of Nick Cage's backstory, and he's like, well, he wouldn't kill me because he thought I was crazy. And there's no honor in killing crazy. What? Okay.
Yes.
And then Jake acting surprised when Nick Cage is talking about how we need to do this, we need to kill whatever. Is we? Like, so you're one of us?
Yeah, but Nick Cage says like, well, this time we have a plan.
Right. Oh, right. And that's
right. And And then Jake is like, yeah. So you're one of us. And then there's like this overly dramatic, stupid fucking like close in on Nick Cage's face as he looks away. And it's like,
infuriating.
I want to Jiu Jitsu this entire fucking movie right now.
Yeah. Like, yes, you fucking idiot. Of course he's on your team. Like, what? Why do you think he's been following you around in this weird group? Like, he's not with the army. Like, where else would he come from? Like,
and then out of nowhere, just a body drops behind them.
Right. Wait, no, not yet. Not before.
Oh, what's up?
One more thing. So like there's a little more back and forth of him calling Nick Cage an old man. And then Nick Cage is explaining to him that he wants to mess with him. He's saying like, oh, he's just trying to mess with your head right now. He being Brax. And he goes, he's like Marolete, the clownish bullfighter, and you're the bull. So I have 12 questions about this.
Well, we've got time for one, so choose wisely.
Yeah, I'll choose a couple. I'll do whatever I want. This is half my podcast, Russ. So one, are we, the viewer, supposed to know who Marolete, the clownish bullfighter, is? I don't. Do you? Is it common? No common knowledge?
Nope, no clue. Nope.
I think between the two of us, we have a lot of common knowledge.
I think we were generally pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah. So I looked him up. Marolete, not like literally the opposite of a clownish bullfighter. He's like considered to be one of the greatest Spanish bullfighters of all time. Had a very like sober, serious demeanor.
Yeah.
Like literally the opposite. Like it's explicitly said in the biography thing that I read that he had like a very serious demeanor, not clownish at all.
Which is opposite of clownish.
Yeah. And then he died when he was 30, which I thought was also kind of like, well, whatever.
I mean, you're a bullfighter. I mean, come on.
Right. But like, that's
did he die from
pretty fucked up.
Did he die from? Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Sort of make sure.
It's not like crazy far in the past, dude. He died in 1947. Like, it's like relatively recent. Like some bull gored him and then he died from his injuries or whatever. Like, what is this reference? Is this a Nick Cage improvisation?
Yes.
And if it is,
yes.
Is Nick Cage a big bullfighter guy? Like
1,000%, 100%. This is a Nick Cage just pulling stuff.
So many questions. Hate this line. I love this line.
Oh my god. I hate to love this line.
Yes. It doesn't make any sense. And of course Jake doesn't have a response to it. He's just like, all right.
Well, because who the fuck would? Who would have a response to that? Like, who's gonna respond? Like, I'd be like, who do I know?
Sorry?
Is the fish done? Can I have some?
Yes. Yeah. Say again. I could eat.
Is the fake rubber fish cooked yet? Can I have some? Oh my god.
And that's when the obviously dead guy gets thrown at them.
Yeah, and then just random dead body shows up behind him. One of the red shirts.
And then,
right?
And then the obviously dead guy gets tossed at them, and Jake immediately checks his pulse. Did you catch that? Jake walks over and like touches his neck, and you're like, "What? Why?
Why? You think there's a chance here? Like,
this guy's the deadest." Yeah.
Yeah. I'm glad we're showing that you think like you care, but really, come on.
It's so frustrating.
Oh my god! And then Tony Josh shows up because I don't know.
Yeah,
why not? We're by
because he didn't die apparently. Yeah,
he didn't die.
Continues to not die.
I completely forgot where we left him. But yeah, he just shows up and
injured as always.
Yeah, he's just injured, but it's like whatever. He's here. He won't be injured for long though. He'll be fine.
Yeah, and Nick Cage is mostly talking about how the best way for Jake to make up for the things that he did, which is run away, is to kill Brax, which like,
yeah,
no shit. I thought that was the whole goal of all of this.
That's right. He's the chosen one. Like,
I'm so it's so frustrating. And then I love how they walk outside again. Then they meet back up with the
whole crew shows up.
Yeah,
the whole crew just shows up all of a sudden. And it's like, what?
Yeah, the whole crew shows up. They go outside, and the captain here says like, "Comet's moving. We got to get this done now." The comet is always moving. What does that mean? Like, the comet is consistently traveling. You're just
like. Was it ever explained that it is
explained that like when if the comet goes away and the portal hasn't closed, then he's gonna kill everyone. Not just the crew, the whole world. Brax is going to murder the entire planet, is what we're told. And they've been doing this for the last 2,000 years, as we find out. Right. And inexplicably, like Russ was talking. You were talking about it a little bit earlier. I was addressing the listeners. Sorry, dear listener. Russ was talking about this earlier, but again, this has been happening for 2,000 years. Like how is Brax, one alien who's kind of gotten stymied this time around thus far? Like, how is he going to kill the whole world? Are we saying that there's no one better in the whole world equipped to fight this person than who's here right now? You said the whole world will die. Everyone in the whole world will die. Yeah. He's going to go around, murder 7 billion some odd people, right? Yeah. What are we up to? Yeah, we're up to a couple billion, right? Yeah. Yes. Single-handedly. How? What? Like, what is the plot now? Like, it would take him another 2,000 years probably just to go around and kill everyone. Right? I think so, yeah. It's so irritating. All right, let's move on before we fucking. I'm sorry. Before we hurt ourselves. Yeah. Well, we'll leave the scene with this. The Nick Cage saying, "Just remember, the one thing you always have with jiu-jitsu, leverage." Oh god. Yeah, for fuck's sake, we know that. Russ and I are apparently far more experts in jiu-jitsu than anyone who worked on this movie, because they're not using that. God damn it. So mad. Oh my god. And then we comic transition. Yeah. The rabbit. So someone's running. Jake is surprise. We start with it's the rabbit, and yeah. So Jake is the rabbit. Yeah. Clearly, Jake is the rabbit, and then again, awkward editing, cutting. I don't know what the fuck's going on. So he's running, and then we could just cut to the next Mortal Kombat. Enter your quarters here. Yeah. Spaceman versus Juju Chan. Fight. What's her name? Because what's her name in the movie? Her name is Carmen. What? In what world is her name Carmen? That's so frustrating. They never say it in the movie. Nope. It's literally, we've been calling her by her actress name because they don't say it in the movie at all. Yeah, I've been calling her interchangeably Juju Chan Zito and the blonde woman. Yes. She's also the only blonde woman in the whole movie. Yes. But she's Carmen. Okay. Cool. Let's run with it. Fight! And so they fight. And then we get another one where it feels like the shuriken is cheating, right? Like he starts blasting her. Yeah, but she's just like, she's got some nunchucks there, and she's just like kind of deflecting them like it's nothing. And he's again wasting a million of them. And she's just like kind of blocking them all. He has unlimited, so yeah, it doesn't matter. He entered a cheat code in the beginning of this game. Yeah, he was like IG JFK or whatever. Yeah. Was that Doom? Yeah, is that God mode? Yeah, I think that's God.
So he's doing this, and then we get another crazy spinning camera move. Ah,
Yep.
Dimitri.
This is the one that I thought was the best fight. Actually, this fight.
Oh,
with
this one.
Yeah, for me, this was the most entertaining. I think.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't bad.
She seemed like a competent adversary, at least for this guy. Like everyone else was just getting brained by this guy constantly, and she's at least deflecting things and like.
That's actually true. And there was actually the end of this whole scene, which also just goes off the rails in terms of like where people are, who's involved and why and what's going on. But the end, it was kind of cool and whatever. We're obviously going to get to it in a second. So okay.
It's not bad, right?
It's not terrible. We definitely get more spinning camera move a couple times in this, which is ridiculous. Spaceman wasting a bunch of dragons. And then the other lady who
I forgot she was a character.
I'm not even sure if she had a name or if she was even. Did she even show up anywhere? Like,
no, I almost thought for a second I thought that she was Carmen's stunt double. Like I was like, wait, did they screw things up here and like accidentally put her in two places at once? I'm
like royally screw up. Like,
yeah, right. I don't know.
I didn't even see her on the cast list. Like she's not even listed anywhere here.
Uncredited Carmen stunt double.
Wow, she's not even here. She's not even listed. She's nothing. She's not even here. But she was a character apparently.
Allegedly.
I don't know. This movie is kind of loose and flimsy with characters showing up and disappearing. So another character shows up, and she starts fighting. I don't even remember what happens to Juju Chan. Did she get knocked out or something? I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah, she gets like just knocked out. And I thought she died. I thought he killed her.
I thought so too.
She just got knocked out. Yeah,
she just got knocked out. So then new lady is fighting, and they do a couple back and forths here, and then Frank Grillo shows up. I'm like, wait, this whole crew was here the entire time, and he shows up and he throws a knife at the alien and sticks him right in like the chest or something. Yeah. And it was like, and then do a cut shot back to Frank Grillo, and he's just kind of like. Has this surprised look in his face, like, oh, that didn't do anything. It's like, yeah, man.
Of course not.
Like, aren't you the hunter? Aren't you the alien hunter here? Don't you know his whole MO? But I will say this was pretty badass. Could have been executed much better. No pun intended. But then the spaceman pulls the knife out of his chest and uses it to kill.
Stabs the other woman there. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, all right, that's kind of badass. But then he tosses her into some spike trap thing.
Yeah, what was that?
Where
is this Final Destination now? Like, what are we watching?
Like, that was definitely like he stabs her, and like on the screen was like, finish him. You have 3 seconds to punch in the code to toss her into a spike thing that just happens to be there. I was like, where was this spike trap? Why is this thing a thing? And it's
another one to justify the R rating.
Yeah, she's basically waffled into like this spike trap, and she looks over at Frank Grillo, and apparently her and Frank Grillo had a thing.
Yep. And then now he's fighting Frank Grillo again, and then
that doesn't last long.
Gets stabbed through the chest immediately, all the way through. Yeah. This made me so furious too, because then Frank Grillo gives him the double middle fingers, which Brax seems to take personally. Which, like, Brax is an alien. He doesn't know what that means.
Yeah,
like there's people on the other side of this planet that don't know what that means. Like, what? Like that's not a universal symbol of displeasure. I don't know. No, it's frustrating. And then
Frank Grillo was probably like, what's the coolest way I can die right now? Let me just give up the middle fingers. And fucking our buddy Dimitri there was like, sounds good. Shoot it.
I'll give him the old Eminem, like 2 fingers up and to the wind. And then Brax just kicks the knife through his chest. Like
brutal.
That's the end of that. All right. So surprise. Next scene, Jake's running through the woods again. As is half of this movie.
Regular Forrest Gump here, just running.
And again, surprise, Brax finds him. Like he always does. And whenever that guy that should have died at the beginning there shows up and attacks, do you remember this part?
Yeah. Tony Jaa, like he just shows up and you're like,
oh, that's Tony Jaa. Yeah. Okay.
So I don't know. I don't remember where he left him off. I don't know how we thought he died. I don't even remember.
He should have died like 5 times already.
Yes. But he dodges bullets. So he just shows up, and then now we got literally, let's pump the quarters in. Spaceman versus Tony Jaa. Fight! And it's like, here we go.
And Tony Jaa's like, Jake, get out of here. Jake's like, okay. And runs away again. Like immediately.
So this is funny because yes. That's exactly what happens.
Like Jake is there to be the transition.
He's a child. He's like, everyone tells him what to do, and he's like, okay, and he just moves to the next area where the movie needs to move to, basically.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And then Tony Jaa's like, I'll take this from here, and it's like, okay. Which like now,
but will you though?
Speaking of Bill Pullman, now Brax has a huge pole man.
Alien. So Brax Pullman.
Yeah, Brax Pullman has like that huge spear. Why doesn't he just impale Tony Jaa immediately? I don't know. He's not using it.
All right, let's go through all these things here. Why doesn't he use his mad dash fast thing he can do and just kill him from behind? Why doesn't he just impale him with the big sword? Why doesn't he just have better aim and actually hit him with all of his shurikens? And then why doesn't he just,
Yeah. Yeah. Instead, they have hand-to-hand combat for like 5 to 10 minutes again with no dialogue and nothing happens really. And
so they go on, they're fighting, doing their thing, right?
Yep.
And then Jake shows up.
Jake comes back. Unbelievably.
What?
Very out of character.
Like what? Like what?
Yep. And the two of them start fighting Brax. So
tag team. I was immediately this should be over. Cool. So you got two of the strongest guys who are around fighting the alien. This should be good. Movie's over. Done.
Nope. Instead, there are a lot of spin kicks. Again, no one's doing Jiu Jitsu.
No Jiu Jitsu. A lot of
like Rush Hour style Jackie Chan kicks going around. And Brax throws not Jake because I don't remember his name. Tony Jaa's character, I think Captain something, right? Captain's either way. So we never know his name, right?
We're gonna go with Tony. We're sticking with Tony.
Yeah.
So Tony.
Yeah, and they're like gets thrown through a brick wall, which again should be the end of him. Like he should have died 3 times already. This movie, and then Jake runs away again.
Yeah, he just so. And this part was stupid. So Jake just runs away, leaves his buddy
Tony
there.
Jaa keeps barely surviving every scene in this movie. He's like barely living.
Maybe it's because all this stuff where like he's jumping off walls to try and get more leverage. He's like, stop jumping off walls, dude.
Parkour.
So Jake runs away again. And then it's so funny. So he just runs away.
Yep.
And then the spaceman does his dash run towards him.
Yep.
It's like, wait. If he has super dash means he can move really fast. Wouldn't he just
murder him? Yes.
Just catch him and kill him?
Nope, apparently not. And then there's a quick cut between scenes where we're back at Nick Cage's rabbit hole there. He's like unsheathing his sword. And that's it. And then it cuts to the next scene. Okay, God. Cool.
So now we get inexplicably, now it's Spaceman versus Nick Cage, right?
Yeah. Well, Carmen survives. This is when before then we get Carmen survives. Jake finds her. And that's when they use the invisibility cloak to make themselves invisible. And then that's when Brax is looking around, can't see the two of them, and Nick Cage rolls in. Yeah, exactly. This is the one time they use it. Yeah.
I didn't understand that. So like I thought they were just sitting off to the sides, like watching this whole thing go down, and like, oh, so they were invisible then.
Yes, exactly.
I was like, this just seems what? Okay. Yeah.
And so that's when Nick Cage shows up and then starts fighting with Brax, right?
I hate that I had a revelation about something that is so fucking stupid.
Yes. Yeah, it's the thing I was telling you earlier. I was like, oh no, it'll come back. They use it one time.
I know you said it. I was like, what do they? And I was like, oh, This is it. I thought it was something else actually, which we'll get to. Fuck this movie. All right. So, okay, go ahead. Keep going.
Yeah. So Nick Cage is having a fight. He's using like, I don't know. This is like the first time I see some good fighting in this movie where Nick Cage is like being
Do you? Do you though?
Nick, it's what I would do if I were in this situation. Nick, lot of factors there to consider. If I were in this situation, I would be on the defense. I would do like Nick Cage does in the scene and wait for Brax to strike me first. Because so far the downfall of most of our characters have been going after Brax, right?
Actual jujitsu.
Right, exactly.
It's defensive.
Yes.
Well, obviously, this sans all the sword fighting, because I don't think swords are a big thing in jiu-jitsu, but like it's usually smaller arm, like small. I think it's smaller weapon type things, but that's a jiu-jitsu thing, right?
Yes. Wait to be attacked, deflect, and use that power to then make your own attack. But it's like it's a reactive,
right? Deflect and manipulate your enemy, right?
Yeah,
based on their own movements.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, Nick Cage is being cool. He's like doing the jiu-jitsu thing. This is like a okay scene so far, and starting a sword fight.
And then it goes down the tubes, I think.
Yes. Like Nick Cage gets a couple of good hits in, and then it's like Brax slams him on the ground, slams him by the throat with a sword.
By the way, hold on. There's more of this before we get there. So there's more spinning camera movement too. So there's like the third or fourth, like the camera is spinning the entire screen around in a and it's like, what? Yep. Why are we doing this?
For fun.
Yep. For fun.
And then like Nick Cage is getting pummeled and somehow is still going.
Yep.
Then they lose the swords. It's kind of hard to, I don't know if you know this, if you notice this, but when Nick Cage, there's a point where Nick Cage is like kneeling with his sword and like on the ground. Did you see that? And the sword bends.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's a rubber sword. Sick. Okay, I'm glad we're all on board with this movie being real. So frustrating.
I saw it. It's like I'm gonna move past that.
No, I'm gonna call it out because it's important.
It is important.
So they lose the swords. Nick Cage grabs a knife instead, stabs Brax again. He heals immediately as he does. Like, why is Nick Cage doing this? Because it seems like he had figured out how to not die, right? I'm upset about the motive at this point of like, Nick Cage had a pretty good system. He was just hiding in his hole.
Yeah.
Having a good time.
Yeah. Just stay where you are, right? Like,
right? Like, you figured it out. Why are you participating in this?
And this whole sequence, so this is kind of like I wouldn't call it epic in any. I think the other fight sequence is probably more epic than this, and that's saying something.
Yeah,
but it's kind of fun. This whole fight sequence where Nick Cage is fighting someone, and they keep doing the cutbacks, like a wide angle where it's like, wide shot where it's like, oh, here's someone who's definitely wearing a wig and like flipping around doing these things, and they cut. It's just so.
Here's someone who's not Nick Cage.
It's so comically bad. It's like,
still got paid $5 million.
Seriously, are you kidding me? Like,
So then, there comes a point where Nick Cage is on his knees, right? Like it seems like the battle is lost.
Yeah, so Nick is beaten. The aliens got him, right? Like he kind of totally destroys him, right?
And he points at Jake, and he's like, "Jake, you gotta keep going." Which way to point out the guy in the invisibility cloak. Yeah.
Well, now knowing that they're invisible, and he just points to like the.
Come on, son! Like,
come on, man.
Yeah, it's frustrating. And then instead of executing Nick Cage, like,
by the way, that whole scene was stupid when I didn't realize that they were cloaked, but now knowing that they were cloaked, it's stupider. It's stupider, which
like, why didn't they help? like there would have been 3-on-1, right? Like, I don't know, that would have way better,
right? Way better, right? Like
they could have prevented Nick Cage's death.
100%.
Speaking of, so instead of executing Nick Cage, Brax hands him his sword again. You're like, wait, why?
This was so inexplicable. I was like,
well,
what?
So, but to be fair, Brax hands him a sword. They have like 2 or 3 little like ching ching ching, and then Brax stabs him through the chest anyway.
Yeah, because of honor, and then he just stabs him through.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Nothing matters. And then Nick Cage is still going.
But then we get the old alien picks him up, spins him around. We get another spinny camera move, I think, right?
Yep.
The alien just
Batman. Back break.
Yeah, just fucking Bane Batman just breaks his back over his knee, and I was like, ooh, brutal. And then the alien busts out. This whole sequence was so weird. I'm not sure how you felt about this.
Yeah.
So Nick Cage is over the alien's like leg, right, over his knee, and the alien's like busts out his little, claw, his sword in his arm, right?
Yeah, and Jake and Carmen are watching.
Yeah, they're all
they're just like, ooh, what's gonna happen next?
I wonder what's gonna happen. And then the alien like goes to put the sword close to Nick Cage's neck, and it's nowhere even actually close to his neck. And he just does this. He just pulls his arm back, and it's not even close. And then there's CG blood, and then they cut and they cut away, and they cut back to a wider shot of Nick Cage with practical effect neck, and his whole neck is split open, and like there's blood squirting out.
Yeah. It's awesome.
I was like, that is the what?
Yeah, and this is the last we get of Nick Cage, and there's 18 minutes left in this movie.
Yep. And that's it. We
saw like
Nick Cage. We
had Nick Cage for maybe 15, 20 minutes, had 80% of the dialogue, and then it's over. Yeah. So then Brax just cuts his throat, right? This, like you said, there's blood everywhere. And then he sees Jake and Carmen. He like looks at them, and all of a sudden, I guess the cloak of invisibility doesn't count. Yeah.
Your cloak of invisibility is no longer effective. You have to re-tap that.
So then we get our next comic transition, right?
Do you like a comic transition? All right, we're getting off the rails here. Come on, let's get back.
We're back at the temple now. I'm furious because they're like, why did we even bother with Nick Cage? Like, everyone in this movie died. Everyone that had any consequential information just died. Why did we waste so much time?
Yeah.
This is frustrating. And so then this is when we get the big reveal. Nick Cage. I couldn't stop laughing. I laughed for like 5 minutes after. I paused the movie and started laughing. Nick Cage is his father somehow.
Yeah. And this is a big reveal.
And then Carmen says, "You don't remember? He was your father. He didn't want you to know." And what? Why?
I was just laughing out loud, and I had no idea what to think. So Nick Cage, let's just reiterate this. So Nick Cage is Jake, the main character's father.
Yep.
Let's let that all sink in for a minute.
Yep.
So we find out this information, mind blowing, and then we get like a weird little flashback to where like he kind of
mind blowing, but it doesn't matter at all.
Yeah, it means absolutely nothing. Yeah. And we get a quick flashback of like him as a child doing like Jiu Jitsu with young Nick Cage in like a weird cave thing, and like a terrible Nick Cage lookalike with some seriously bad makeup.
I was gonna say they didn't de-age Nick Cage; they just got a guy who looked not at all like him. You're like, oh yeah, no, this is the younger version.
Yeah, he just got long hair.
Yeah, it's implied.
Oh, this was so terrible. It was so terrible. And then, it gets worse. So
it gets worse. Yeah.
Yes.
So Carmen is like, trying to explain this whole situation to Jake. And Jake says, "Slow down. You have a big wound." And then he picks her up and they make out a bunch. You're like, wait.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why?
I mean,
why would you do this?
All right, so now you find out that Carmen, Juju Chan, we didn't know her name before, but now we know her character name, Carmen. Her and Jake, were a thing. We kind of knew it from the beginning, but now they're making out.
Yep.
During his he didn't know his dead father's memorial service, right?
Right.
It's kind of a weird time to be like, I don't know. Hey, you know what? Fantasy world, maybe that's just how that works. So, and then Tex shows up.
Yeah. Which, how is he still alive? And he walks in with the fisherman and his wife.
Yeah.
Like,
from the beginning.
what?
So comedic relief and the fishermen and fisher people show up.
He's like, we can't, you guys got to stop making out over there. We got a Martian on the loose. Like, wait, what?
Okay. And then he's got a bunch of grenades on him, which will probably play a part in a few minutes.
Yep. And talks about, again, they reiterate, they're like, so you guys are some like ninja alien killers, right? And
oh my God.
Carmen goes, Jiu Jitsu.
Oh my
and
God.
He goes, right. That's why you wear those outfits with the, like, what? Why? Like, why is this exchange happening? Don't stop doing this. So this is when the fisherman's wife is tending to Carmen's wounds, and Tex is talking about how he needs therapy because this has been very stressful for him. Which, like, this is no shit.
Yeah, this has been stressful for all of us. Seriously,
especially me and Russ. Yeah. And the fisherman's wife goes, "Who is this clown?" Which I love in Burmese.
Great line. Love it. And so they're getting stitched up, and there's again more comedic relief of she's stitching her up and being like, hey, she can't do anything. And obviously, so this is important though, by the way. Carmen and Jake have no idea what this woman is saying, right?
Yep. Oh yeah.
She's speaking in the language. They have absolutely no idea what she's saying. And they keep looking to the translator, and is Tex, who is absolutely terrible at this. But this is important because it plays towards later on where it's just, again, zero consistency. And he's completely getting all the translations incorrect, right? Like, and at the same time, like, this shouldn't be too hard. Like, she's taken a serious wound. She's getting sewn up.
Oh, she's mangled.
Why do you need someone to tell? Like, I think she should know. Like, I think I'm going to sit this thing out. I think I'm done. But, anyways, so they're all doing this, and this is all happening, and then, like, boom, door knocks down, and here's Brax. He shows up, right, ready to go.
Classic. Yep.
Because, right,
and then Tex runs away.
But in classic alien move, though, Brax move, he just kicks down the door and then just blasts away with his shurikens, like left and right? Just hammer him out, or shurikens.
Yep.
He's just pumping out 1,000 of them.
Yep.
And hitting nothing.
At best. And then the fisherman's wife here starts doing work on Brax with the shotgun, right?
The fisherman's wife, she actually does the most work out of anyone in the movie, other than other than the guy who did the machine gun to his chest early on, right? And she's just like shotgun blast, boom, 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 right? And like Brax he's like, lady, come on, come on. You know how you know how long I've been here doing this shit, right? And he's just like dash, dodge, left, right, A, B, select start.
Jake runs away again.
So the old shotgun blast, she does hit him though, and kind of puts him down for a second, kind of like T2 action, right? Kind of slow him down. And then, Jake is just like, let's run this way. Yeah. And everyone runs out the door.
Yep.
And then it's time for another comic transition.
Yep. Time to die.
And then the title is Time to Die. Yeah.
Are we at a different temple? Did you have the same question?
Yes.
I'm confused.
We get comic transition, which doesn't really show us anything. And then we just cut to now Jake standing in the middle of a temple room where the portal is.
Yep.
By himself.
You just summed it up.
Yep. So we're going to pump in 2 quarters in this machine. Spaceman versus Jake. Fight.
Yep. Yep. And this is, I hope, Time to Die makes it seem like it's going to be the last fight. I really, really hope it's going to be right at this point.
I am ready to die. I'm hoping this is the end of it.
Yeah, like the portal glows occasionally. Like we're getting towards the climax. It seems like the comet is moving
slowly. It's moving
yeah.
so slowly.
And then there's just like you said, there's a bunch of fighting. You know, Brax slashes Jake across his chest. Jake somehow splits his sword into 2 equal swords, and still manages to get thrown against a wall and loses immediately. Like he has no more swords all of a sudden. Like,
and then Alien's doing like his transport thing where he can literally bounce from one spot to another. He like grabs Jake and like throws him around. Like, dude,
could have killed him so many times. And Jake is scrambling around on the ground. Like, there's no sign of Carmen in sight anywhere. Brax is, Brax is winning clearly.
Oh yeah. Like, he's dominating.
He gets Jake in a around the neck again, right? And he's holding him up,
picks him up. Classic, kind of Predator move there. Picks up the guy.
Predator, Darth Vader, whatever.
All of them, right? All the baddies to someone.
And then inexplicably we get Carmen's voice. You lost your father.
Yeah. So so Jake is literally about to pass out. His eyes are rolling back, and he's just like, his face is purple. He's about to go down, and it is her voice, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. You lost your father, which isn't a line that she said in the movie so far.
And then all of a sudden Jake just he's like, yeah. And
like, oh yeah, you're right. I have super strength now.
Yeah. And then just starts kicking ass.
Yeah. And like, Brax gets defeated easily.
And then he's kicking so much ass. Jake is kicking so much ass all of a sudden that he even does the old come on to him. He waves him on. He waves on the alien. He gives him the old, come on, bro. Come at me.
Apparently, the way the alien vision works, Brax doesn't seem to do fire. So like he gets close to, there's like a little fire pit.
So this is the thing where I thought was the whole, I thought this was the moment
the invisibility thing.
Yeah.
That I was talking about. Oh, no.
But it was literally, it was the stupidest thing ever. So I can't actually describe how we ended up at this point because like things were happening and all of a sudden both of them are just standing in front of a fire pit that has been in the room the entire time.
Correct.
It's like no one set this fire on. It's just been there because you're in a temple and fire is part of a temple, right?
Yep.
And there's just
this body's a temple, yeah.
Yep. And there's a giant bowl of fire, like and all of a sudden the alien's freaking out. He's like, I can't see, and they kind of cut to his vision. It's like,
it's so dumb. It's so infuriating. Yeah. And you get like thunder crashes outside that's showing the comet. Like we're getting close to the end, alerting the movie. Thank you. I appreciate it.
But then all of a sudden you're like, Jake is missing and like there's whistling going on.
Right. And like, why wouldn't Brax just like walk away? I don't know. Like try and figure your own shit out.
This whole thing. But then like, yeah, it cuts back and it's like, there's whistling. Like now Jake is like he's now the predator, right? He's on the hunt.
Yeah.
He's whistling and like kind of signaling it to the alien. And alien is like now walking away from the fire. Like I want to punch this. I want to uppercut this movie so hard.
Yep. Yeah. And then like he starts doing spin kicks again. This is when like Jake confronts Brax. He's doing spin kicks.
Yeah.
And he takes like, this is when we get the Obi-Wan Kenobi moment. It's not the same as Carmen. We get the Nick Cage, or not Nick Cage. It's what'd you say, Captain Sand there. He takes 5 or 6 seconds until he sees something again. Like that's your window. And that's when out of nowhere, like the portal opens behind Brax and Jake slashes him a couple times, gets good things in. Then Carmen shows up.
Yeah.
And fires off
by the way, out of nowhere.
Yeah.
She's just behind a pillar. She just shows up behind a pillar. And she's like, guess what?
Yep. Fires off the exploding arrow that like hits him straight in the chest and like explodes a big hole in his chest.
Great shot. So solid shot.
Cool, I guess. And then apparently like she is done for now. So then Tex shows up out of nowhere. Other
behind the other pillar. Hey man, what's up?
Hey man, I got these grenades, remember? He tosses them perfectly to Jake.
Great toss.
And Jake
By the way,
stuffs them.
Jake is so set the scene. So Jake is actually on top of the alien's shoulders at this point, right?
Yep.
It's kind of like if like a dad was like carrying his kid around on his shoulders. Basically, that's what it is.
Yep.
Except it's an alien with an opening portal behind him, and his chest is exploded open.
Right.
Yes. So
yeah. And this is what I was saying, that the thing that came up earlier when we talked about it was like where he's got the 5 seconds. This is that. So Brax is like, Brax just had a huge hole blown in his chest, and he's got 5 seconds of like, and that's when Jake stuffs the grenades in him.
2 of them.
Yep. And then runs away. And then he heals over the grenades. Yeah. And like stumbles backwards into the portal.
Yeah.
Just as the grenades explode in awful CGI.
And this was at this whole entire moment because it took so long, and then so then Jake. I'm sorry. Jake kicks him into the.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Sorry. I thought he stumbled back a little bit, but you're right. Jake kicks him.
Yeah. Jake does the final big kick, right? Because he's got it, and he just launches him into the portal and explodes. And then
this is Sparta. Yeah. Yeah. For the love of God, please don't make any more of these. So yeah, I could agree. The graphics are awful. Like everything bad is happening.
So he kicks him in the portal and then explodes, and then flames and fire and everything brimstone comes out of the portal, and the
graphics get even worse.
And then that's it.
And that's when we get another one of those shots where it's like 5 angles of the same shot of like Jake like jumping away from the explosion, like
it's like, what the
okay,
fuck,
cool,
man.
cool. And then the portal closes. The end.
The end. So
almost,
then we're left in a room with, we got Carmen, we got Jake, we got comic relief Tex.
Yep. Who's
hiding behind a table with his booze still. He had booze earlier. We didn't mention, it doesn't matter. And then the 2 old Fisher people, right? Fisher men.
The Fisher people, yeah.
So then here we are. Let's just all settle down for a minute here, right? And Jake and Carmen are kind of hanging out.
Yep.
And then the old lady fisherwoman just kind of walks down the stairs, coming in and just like, this is what you were born to do. End a 2,000-year epoch, right?
Yeah, I think epoch is fine.
Epoch, I don't know. Yeah. All right. So, and that's what she says.
The fuck? What does that mean? Like, what?
So, couple comments here. All right, ready for this? 1, what does that mean? 2, does she know that she's talking to 2 people who have no idea what the fuck she's saying?
Right. They don't understand Burmese. Yeah.
The entire movie, no one knows any of the language except for the translator, and he doesn't. No one knows what anyone speaking a foreign language has no idea what the fuck what they're saying.
Yep. Well,
so and I think that did they even? I don't even know if they even looked or even made a nod.
No, they didn't.
Okay. I was like,
because they just like standing there, and that's when like somehow Tony Jaa's character is still alive, and he shows up out of nowhere. Yeah.
Did I not write this down? Jesus Christ, what?
Yeah, he just shows up standing in the room also, and he's like, yeah. And then
did I fucking miss that entirely? Like, what?
I think so. So like Tex is still going. He's still carrying around the bottle of booze, and Jake and Carmen don't acknowledge the fisherwoman. They just walk out of the room without saying anything.
Yeah, because they can't understand her because they don't understand.
Right. Right. And then Tex goes, "Who wants a drink?" To presumably the captain and the fisher people. At this point, they're the only ones left.
Right.
And the fisherman's wife goes, "No, that stuff's poison."
And then they just leave.
They walk out.
So now it's just Tex by himself with the booze, sitting
drinking
in the room.
Poison. I don't know if it's boozy. Maybe it's actual poison.
And then what's he say?
The final line of the movie: "See you in 6 years."
What? That makes no fucking sense. The woman, the older woman before just said, "This is what you're born to do." and a 2,000-year epoch. Like,
and
is
not
it
only
over or is it not?
Not only that, but Tony Jaa's character is still in the room, presumably unaddressed. Like we never heard from again.
Like, what?
Amazing! What a movie! I feel sick with confusion.
Like,
it turns in then it just turns into comic book art at the end. Remember, it like turns into another panel.
Yes. Yep.
And the end.
I want to roll up a newspaper and slap this movie across the nose. Like,
yeah,
like it just shit in my carpet. Like
Dimitri, if you're out there, fuck you. If you want to be on the podcast,
love to have you.
I don't know if we want you on the podcast.
Actually, no.
I hate this movie.
Yeah, this is terrible.
Yeah, send us an email.
So that's it. That's Jiu Jitsu.
What a nightmare. I'm glad it's over.
This is, man, I'm gonna throw out there a little extra conversation here. I cannot like all the other movies we watch. I'm always like, this is terrible. This is terrible. This is terrible. This is terrible. I would actually say don't even attempt going close to this. Like, don't even go near this movie. Like, this is terrible. I mean,
dear listeners, you know that I am one to recommend probably most of our movies. Like, it's a fun, bad time generally. This one, please don't waste your time. Like, Nick Cage will be okay. He'll still pay his bills. He made $5 million. He's fine.
Yeah.
Whatever residuals he would get from this, somehow, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna find a better Cage movie to do, but whew, man.
Yeah. If you have to watch this movie, and even if you have a Netflix subscription, pirate it. Yeah. Don't give anyone who is responsible for this money.
Yeah. If you're being forced to watch this movie, like, blink twice, let us know. We'll find someone to save you or something. I don't know. Like, fuck
at
me,
least,
dude.
At least half of this podcast, me, is generally on board with like, go do crimes. In this case, pirate this, steal this movie. Don't watch it on Netflix. I don't want them to think that this movie was good. Don't give them the credit.
So that's it. We're done. We're done with Jiu Jitsu. This is it.
I think so. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. If you're hearing our voices right now, thank you so much for making it this far.
Yeah.
But I would say, thanks for listening. And we're back next week with a new movie and a new trailer trash.
Yep.
Do we know what that is yet? No. Spoilers?
We do, but...
Spoilers?
Should we spoil it?
Oh. Nah. Nah, maybe.
Fuck you, it's a surprise.
Yeah, fuck you, it's a surprise. Gotcha. But if you follow us on Instagram at It's This Meets That, or
maybe we'll tease it there,
or on ITMT Pod, which we're on Twitter, maybe we'll tease a little what's happening next.
Yeah, I like that. Or if you're feeling old fashioned, or you want to be heard by the world, like send us a weird manifesto or something. I don't know. Whatever you're into, we'll read it probably. Send us an email. It's thismeetsthat@gmail.com. Or you can find all of our old episodes, which at this point we're building up a solid collection.
We are. You kidding me? We're established.
Check out the website. Me and Russ built the website. Mostly Russ. It's thismeetsthat.com.
Mostly WordPress, but 50 episodes. Yeah. Come on, man.
WordPress did most of the work.
Point, click. Okay, thanks for listening. Good night.